Wolfpack rescued a pregnant woman in A. Forest in winter, what happened to her? Shocked everyone in the heart of North Dakota, nestled between rolling plains and dense forests, lived 25-year-old Emily Carter. She was an ordinary woman with an extraordinary fate awaiting her. 8 months pregnant, Emily and her husband, Daniel, were eagerly anticipating the arrival of their first child, but on a cold January night in 2016, destiny had other plans. Emily had driven to the nearby town for routine errands, unaware that a monstrous snowstorm was brewing. The weather reports had warned of heavy snowfall, but no one expected it to be this severe. By the time she was halfway home, visibility had dropped drastically. Snow swirled in thick gusts blanketing the winding forest road. In an unforgiving white abyss, her SUV pushed forward, tires crunching through the accumulating snow. But fate struck. Just a few miles from home, a powerful gust of wind sent a thick wave of snow cascading over the road, swallowing her vehicle in a frozen tomb. Despite several attempts, the car refused to budge. Panic gnawed at her as she realized she was completely alone. Emily checked her phone, no signal. She knew she couldn't sit in the car all night. Gas was low and the cold would seep in soon. After bundling up in all the extra layers she could find, she decided to walk back toward town, believing help might be closer in that direction. The storm howled around her as she trudged forward, each step a battle against the knee-deep snow. Then the pain hit. It started as a dull ache before morphing into searing contractions that stole her breath. She doubled over, gripping the nearest tree for support. No, not now, she thought, not here. But nature had its own timing. She tried to push forward, desperate to find shelter, but her body refused. With the last of her strength, she stumbled toward the nearest tree where the snow wasn't as thick and collapsed as darkness closed. And Emily whispered, "Please, someone help me." And then the world faded to black. When she awoke, she felt warmth, a stark contrast to the deathly cold she had succumbed. Confused, she slowly opened her eyes, only to find herself nestled in an unexpected embrace. Her head rested on the thick fur of a massive gray wolf. Her breath hitched in her throat. Surrounding her was a pack 9 wolves standing in a protective circle, their eyes gleaming against the white snow. But they weren't threatening. They weren't growling or baring their teeth. Instead, they shielded her from the storm, their bodies forming a barrier against the wind. Panic and awe wared within her, but then a small whimper diverted her attention. Lying beside her, wrapped in the warmth of fur, was her newborn son. Her heart clenched. She didn't remember giving birth. Had she passed out? Had the wolves helped her? A she-wolf smaller than the others stood near the baby, licking him gently. It was then that Emily noticed something impossible. Her umbilical cord had been severed in the area clean. The wolves had delivered her child. Tears blurred her vision as she pulled her baby close. He was alive, breathing warm. These wild predators had saved them both. The leader, the massive gray wolf, locked eyes with her, his gaze almost knowing. Emily didn't understand why or how, but she felt no fear, only gratitude. Meanwhile, Daniel had raised the alarm when Emily didn't return home. The storm made searching nearly impossible, but he and a few neighbors refused to give up. Armed with a heavy-duty truck and determination, they followed the path Emily would have taken. Hours later, they found her abandoned SUV, nearly buried in snow. Fear gripped Daniel's chest. She had to be out there, somewhere alive. Then in the distance, movement, a pack of wolves. Daniel's heart stopped. The men with him grabbed their guns, assuming the worst. One of them fired a shot into the air, trying to scare them off, but instead of scattering, the wolves hesitated, glancing back at something before retreating a few yards, still watching. And that's when they saw her, Emily, clutching her newborn, barely conscious in the snow, rushing forward. Daniel scooped them both into his arms, his voice cracking with emotion. "Emily, oh my God." She blinked up at him, smiling weakly. "Did they save us?" Daniel was too Overwhelmed to process what she meant, he focused on getting her and the baby into the warmth of the truck, but as they pulled away, he glanced back. The wolves stood there watching, unmoving. They hadn't attacked, they hadn't run, they had been guarding her at the hospital. Both Emily and her baby, whom she named Noah, made a full recovery. The doctors were baffled by how she had survived in such conditions, but Emily knew it was the wolves. She told her story, and while many dismissed it as delirium or sheer luck, some believed wildlife experts struggled to explain the wolves' behavior. Some theorized that their maternal instincts had been triggered by the scent of childbirth. Others refused to acknowledge it at all, but Emily knew the truth. Months later, once spring melted the snow, she returned to the place where it all happened, standing at the edge of the forest with Noah in her arms. She wasn't sure what she expected, but deep down she hoped. And then in the distance, a pair of glowing yellow eyes appeared between the trees. The massive gray wolf, their silent guardian. Emily smiled, "Thank you," and as if he understood, the wolf gave a single nod before disappearing back into the wild. Some things in life defy explanation, some miracles wear fur and walk on four legs, and some bonds, no matter how unlikely, are never truly broken. Life is full of mysteries, and sometimes the most unexpected guardians come in the form of wild creatures. Emily's story is more than just a tale of survival. It's a testament to the incredible bonds that can form between humans and nature against all odds. In the heart of a deadly storm, a pack of wolves did the unthinkable. They didn't see her as prey, they saw her as a mother in need and stepped in to help, defying every expectation. Perhaps some things in life can't be explained, only felt. The instinct to protect, to nurture, to care. These are not just human traits, they are universal, transcending species and logic. The wolves of North Dakota didn't just save Emily and her newborn son. They prove that compassion exists even in the wildest corners of the world. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of the beauty and mystery of nature, please take a moment to support this channel. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions help bring more incredible stories like this to life. Let's keep sharing moments of wonder, resilience, and hope. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And remember, sometimes the most extraordinary heroes walk on four legs. See you in the next story.